Good morning, everyone. So when I heard about the topic, Kintsugi, I was familiar with it, but I never really thought about it in depth. Now that I think about it, it talks a lot about life. It talks about how we value like simplicity, how it values the beauty. And now let's take a closer look at this. So you can see how the broken pieces are glued back together, right? It's very pretty, but once upon a time it was all broken, right? So now I will be talking about my life, how I have encountered many broken pieces, and how I have glued it back together. Not with Fevikwik or Fevicol, but with a journey and the hardships I have encountered in my life. Now, when I started, so I was 5 years when I started. I had a PD teacher, Miss Anna. She introduced me to athletics. And I was not really crazed, I was not really a fan of running, but I just run it because I should run for chicken. Now the story behind this was, after every a sports day, our teacher, Miss Anna, she used to buy us chicken piece and chicken kebab. I used to eat it so much, and then I used to vomit everything and get back to running. So my mom always used to tell everyone that, Neole runs for chicken, or Neole is running for chicken. So that's how I started athletics. And later in second grade, a new PT teacher joined in. And he instilled the discipline in me. He really made me enjoy my sport. He instilled the value of hard work and training. So that's when I started training really hard, and I started putting a lot of effort in track. And my first nationals was when I was 14 years. I won my South Zone and Junior Nationals at the same year. I won 2 gold medals and a best athlete in South Zone, and Junior Nationals silver medal. I was 14. I did not think of it as an important event. I always thought it was like a small event. But now that I think about it, it's a really big event. And right after those events, because I won a lot of national medals, I was invited to a lot of assessment camps. In these assessment camps, we have a lot of senior coaches and a lot of athletes, senior athletes. In these assessment camps, a lot of coaches and a lot of senior athletes used to comment on the way I look. Now, where did this all start? So, when I was small, as you can see, you can see my biceps, right? It's all popping out, because I was born like that. It's not like my mom gave me protein or creatine. I was just born. That's because so there are 2 types of bodies, ectomorphic and mesomorphic. Ectomorphic bodies in India are basically lean, tall, and they're very slim. And it's really hard for them to gain muscles, whereas mesomorphics are muscular, and it's easier for them to gain muscle. They're born with a lot of fat, and if they squat one day, the next day, they are bulkier. So I was born as a mesomorphic body, as you can see, right? So it was really hard for me to lose weight, and it was really easy for me to gain muscle and hard for me to lose weight. So in these assessment camps, a lot of coaches and a lot of senior athletes used to comment on the way I look. In Hindi, they used to say, "Bahut moti hai, bahut badi hai." What's big, right? They used to always say, "Bahut badi hai." And they used to be like, "Do you eat a lot?" But I used to eat very little. Or, they used to think I don't put a lot of hard work in track, that's why I'm gaining a lot of weight. But it was natural. At that time, I didn't know it was natural. At that time, I thought it was my fault, or it is a mistake, that I am not working hard enough, or I'm not putting a lot of effort in track, that I'm gaining a lot of weight. I started to hate the sport. I started to hate everything about it, because every day I used to get comments. Every day I used to get a lot of feedbacks on the way I look. In these assessment camps, I used to call my mom in the night, and I used to always cry to her, saying that, "Mama, they are, bullying me and all." The only thing she could say was, "It's okay, Neole, come back to Bangalore," because it used to be outside Bangalore. She'd be like, "It's okay, come back to Bangalore, it'll be fine." And I was 14 years at that time, 14, 15 years max, and I never knew it's not a problem. I always thought it's a mistake, or I always thought I'm at fault to looking like this. Then during COVID, I started gaining a lot of fat. I started gaining a lot of weight, and it's also because I lost hope on the sport, and I never thought of it. I always was ashamed of the way I look. So I thought, if I gain more weight, everything will become worse, right? So I thought there's really no point of losing so much weight. There's no point of really caring on what people will say. So I lost hope on sports. I used to get up 11 hours. I used to sleep. I used to get up at 10 in the morning, and I used to do like little squats, and that's all. I call it a day. I stopped talking to all my friends, all my athletic friends, because I knew if I talk to them, I'll again feel guilty because I stopped athletics. Then, right after COVID, again I started going to track because I was brought up in this environment of always being on sports. So obviously I just put a little effort and went to track. And every day in the stadium, a lot of athletes, a lot of coaches used to tell me, what happened in COVID, why you gained so much weight? I didn't have an answer. I can't tell them, I lost hope. And a lot of coaches used to be like, what's wrong with you? Why are you like this? Or why do you look like this? Then it kept on going till I became 18, till I was 17 to 18. A lot of events when I went to, a lot of parents, even parents used to come to me and tell, what, Ma, your coach is not training you. What do I say? I'm training every day. A lot of my friends who used to come with me, they used to look at me and I used to look at them like, what do I answer? And they'd be like, I don't know. So I didn't know what to say. I didn't have the choice of correcting them because I didn't know it's right to look like this. That's where all my self-esteem dropped. It just dropped to the bottom. I don't know how to build it up. I don't know how to stick all the glues. I don't know how to stick all the vessels back together. I didn't know there's a way out of it. After COVID, after like few months and all, I've encountered this one coach. Her name is Bindu Rani. And whenever I met her, she always told me this one thing, Neole, you look strong. Neole, you look fit. I never knew the word strong will suit me because I was always heavy. I was always fat, right? So 2022, I decided to join Bindu ma'am, who is an international athlete, because all the other coaches and all the other seniors, they made me lose hope on sports, but only she made me look at sports the other way. I joined her 2022. It was a very big change because I was with a previous coach for a decade, so it was a huge change for me. And while training with Bindu ma'am, she always told me one thing, Neole, just enjoy the sport and don't think of anything else. Just enjoy, run for yourself, okay? Be confident and run for yourself. She made me focus more on the gym. Then I converted all these, lousy fat or heavy body into my strength. I converted my weakness into my strength, and I became a power runner. So in sprinting, there are two types of runners, and one of it is power runners, because they're very explosive and strong. So I became one of the power runners. And it was a very slow process of me gaining back my self-esteem. I cut out all the negative people around me. I started to get all the positive people around me. And always self-talk. I used to always, do positive self-talk. And even ma'am taught me how to explain, or she gave me a scientific explanation on why I look in certain way. It's a very stereotypical outlook on Indian athletes that they should be thin. Because in foreign athletes, if you see, they're all muscular, they're all big. But in India, it's a very stereotypical observation that every athlete should be lean. So I was one of the targeted athletes. Even though everything was going good slowly, 2021, I was going through nationals, and after so long, I won a nationals. And 2022, I had an international qualification, which was for an international then in Korea. And in semifinals, I was the fastest athlete. And my international qualification there was a tick mark. But in the finals, I had a hamstring tear, only because I lost so much weight through diet that my body could not take my muscle capacity. So I tore my hamstring tear. It was a grade 3, and it took me 6 months to recover. So right after my hamstring tear, I was crying. Obviously, I broke down because I had a lot of expectations on myself, and even it's a big deal, right, going for international. Then I was obviously a little sad, not little, very sad that I didn't get qualified. And I was sick that day because the hamstring really affected the way my body reacted to. I was not able to eat anything. That evening, my coach took me to eat pani puri because that's the only thing I could eat, and that's the only thing I was I told I'll eat. So I was eating pani puri, and while eating pani puri, I was just thinking, like, what ma'am will say? Will she shout at me that I, got hamstring? Or was she sad that I hurt, all the expectation dropped? But she told me one thing, Neole, forget about what happened. We'll look in the future. After 6 months, I recovered. And right after a year, I went to 3 internationals back to back. One was in Junior Asian Cup in Dubai. One was in World Champions in Peru, Junior World Championships. And one was Junior SAF Championship in Chennai, which India hosted. In Peru, that was World Championships, India, that was our team, we ranked 9th place overall in the world. And in SAF, our team, which is 400 meters team, we won the gold medal, breaking our own Indian national record. Now, even though, see, as you can see these comments, right, these are all real comments from YouTube, that when I post, this is after my internationals, reduce your fat, make your muscle hard, improve your fitness, then start your journey. After winning an international medal for the country, they are telling me to start my journey later. This word so heavy was so common. Everyone used the word, you're so heavy, heavy personality. The only thing I could do was explain them that it's not a mistake to look like this. And I also realized this one thing, a lot of athletes, when they go through the same problem as me, they ignore it. In psychology, we learn this thing called maladaptive behavior. Maladaptive behavior is something that when we ignore it, we think it's easier, but actually it makes the problem more harder. It's better to face your problem, it's better to overcome it than ignore it. So for some time, you'll feel happy, like, oh, it's okay, hota hai, chalta hai, and you leave it. But later, it's going to be a very big problem. So that's how I faced my, that's how I built self-esteem, that's how I built it up. I glued it back slowly, piece by piece. It's a very slow process of building back a self-esteem. It takes a lot of time. For me, it took me at least 5 years. But for others, it may take 2-3 months. It matters, it's very subjective. All I did was self-talk, keep very, reachable goals. I was like, Neole, one day, you need to do this event, the next month, this event. If you reach it, good, look forward. If you don't reach it, work harder to be better, right? And it's a very slow progress. As you can see, this is all my internationals. I used to hate wearing shorts because I was very conscious on my thighs and the way I look. But later, Bindu ma'am, she taught me that how to love your body. And now in Instagram, everyone calls me, Indian goddess, big thighs, wow, very nice and all. So that's even people change, right? After they see your performance, after they see your level, they change. And it's a very slow progress, as I said. A lot of people, even though I went for internationals, still a lot of people comment, still a lot of coaches say, but my performance is more than enough. My performance is more than for them to see where I am. That's why I've taken sports psychology. That's why I want to help a lot of athletes overcome whatever they're going through, be it mind or body. A lot of athletes go through a lot of problems like this, like body dysmorphia. Body dysmorphia is when you don't feel comfortable in your own body. In a lot of internationals, when I went to a lot of internationals, a lot of people told me, like, Neole, weren't you nervous? Weren't you scared to run? But now that I learned to love myself so much, I love the attention. I love that people are looking at me running. Because I have worked hard. I know where I am standing, right? So I know what I'm worth. I know that other people's comments won't affect me right now. So in internationals, the people, the arena, around 1,000 plus people just looking at you running, that gave me the boost, that gave me the confidence to run. So that's why I'm taking sports psychology, as I said, to help a lot of athletes, to help a lot of athletes who are going through the same body dysmorphia, a lot of coaches and a lot of people who are not aware of what is happening, who are not aware that these comments affect a lot of athletes. So as Kintsugi, as this topic, it embraces broken pieces. I want to embrace athletes who are broken, and I want to build them up in such a way that they make our country proud, and they are very proud of who they are. And yeah, thank you.